I met a gypsy.
Like, so for me, when I ride a Honda 450, I feel like very, very cautious of the front end. Like, it feels very tucky. Like, compared to a KTM, I feel like I probably lean on the KTM way too much, like, and trust the front a lot. I had a period of crashes a couple years ago where I was just constantly tucking the front because I was like really leaning on it. So in my mind, with like Chase wanting it a little bit lower, is he trying to get away from like that kind of like nervous, like front end sort of feeling?
For sure, chasing stability. You know, that's and then the natural, you know, when you go into a set of whoops and the rear's high, you kind of go like, oh man, I don't know how this is gonna work.
Yeah.
But it's what our bike likes, and so you know, we've had to find other ways to find the stability with keeping the rear in a range that it works in.
Yeah.
So I it's tough with a first year model, you know, with the Yamaha. I know that's the difficult task, is trying to figure out what it likes, and I'm sure they're trying to. They're trying to go way low. They're trying to
swing arm.
yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if you're trying old stuff. You know, you really search in those times, but they'll get it figured out. You know, I think that's pretty typical for the first year of a big change like this. Is you got to spend a year getting to know what it wants.
Yeah, no, definitely. So, what is the best factory Honda 450 ever that you've ridden?
Oh man, I really liked my 2014 bike when we went to KYB. We went from the SFF Showa, which, you know, wasn't a popular fork. It was.
I didn't like that
really
fork.
I don't know anybody that really did love it. We put that KYB setup on, and it was the PSF1 fork, and it built air pressure. Like, you know, you'd go up a bar, 2 bars in a moto, which was tough. You know, that's a couple spring rate. But man, when it was working, like, dude, I loved the way that bike worked. I also, you know, one of my favorite bikes, and I'm kind of bummed because it didn't really get to show, was Cole Seeley's bike in 2019 for outdoors. That thing actually worked really well. But I like, honestly, I like a lot of our current stuff. The last 2 years, there's certain things I really love about the BFRC that Chase has been running. There's things I don't like about it. That's that rear
shock, huh?
Yeah. There's certain things I don't like about it, but there's certain things that just really complements our bike. You know, like that it likes to ride high, and it kind of, you know, helps fix that a little bit. So yeah, I think the last couple of years I've been really excited about just the whole progression of our team. Like, the bikes are getting really fun to ride.
Yeah. And so with the way that Jett has been like dominating the 450 class, like did you have any indication that this was coming? Like, did you have any kind of feeling that, you know, we might see this, or is this a surprise to you as some of, I guess, like most people?
I knew he was going to be good. Just the way that he rides the bike, you know, he rode his 250 was, it's kind of like the ideal way to ride a 450. And I think he's probably taken notes from a lot of different guys, and those guys are great. You know, the Lawrences are great at kind of going like, oh, I like that, I'm going to try to implement that. You know, or I don't like this, I'm not going to do that. And so I think they've probably implemented a lot of things. But whenever I watched him last year, the way that he is with the power, you know, his technique, I really feel like it was probably going to go good. But I didn't know until Motocross of Nations, probably that first moto, or was it the second moto, whatever one he rode good. I was kind of like, okay, yeah, it's translating. You know, it's really going to happen for him. So I just think there's a lot of great combos there that he's pretty advanced in his approach on the bike. You know, the way that he is methodical about things, is a little bit ahead of his time as far as his age in this class. So I guess to answer your question, I was unsure, but once I saw Motocross of Nations, I was like, okay, yeah, he'll be just fine.
Yeah, and you think like, so let's say he goes till he's 29.
Yeah,
like
he'll have challenges. You know, I think you know, Tomac being gone is you know, doesn't help. I think he's probably making it look easier than it is. You know, he's still pushing, you know, even though he makes it look so good. So and then Chase too. You know, Chase, I don't think was at his best at Paula, and you know, still was fighting. So I think there's a handful of guys that will challenge him. But man, if he continues in this progression of the way that, you know, he works with Dazzy and Hunter, and the way that the thing that I admire the most about them is their process. Like, a lot of guys will get frustrated. Say you miss 1 or 2 tries testing, you know, they'll get really frustrated and go like, oh, you know, let's just go back to what worked. You know, I don't want to, you know, I don't want to keep going. You know, we aren't finding anything. Where what Dazzy's done with these guys is he goes, no, you know, this is what works about this. And yeah, there's those kinks there, but we'll work them out. But it's a process, you know, and if we follow the process, the bike, the thing that we're trying to fix is going to get there. And I see that their approach, kind of like the whole, everything as a whole, they're working towards, you know, 2 to 5 years out. You know, it's not just about this weekend. And I think I probably missed that in my racing. A lot of guys do, because you're so in the moment and you want to get it right now. And they certainly have urgency, but I think where they're getting it right is, and I think Johnny O has probably helped them have that mindset. But they're working on getting the momentum going, and I think they'll continue to keep the momentum going because they're not getting too carried away with the highs and the lows of it all.
We're excited to announce the launch of our new membership site, gypsytales.com, packed with exclusive content and perks that you won't find anywhere else. This is your chance to become a part of the Gypsy Gang. And as a special bonus, if you sign up to an annual membership, you'll be entered into the draw to win our custom-built TC125. Gypsy Gang.